IJS, sharing good news. There was a time I was an Uber driver delivering food. I went to the Capitol Hill area of Denver to deliver a food order at a high-rise apartment building. I went to the concierge in the lobby area. The customer was on the 11th floor. In order to get to the customer, the concierge, for security reasons, had to code the elevator for me to get onto it. I rode the elevator to the 11th floor and delivered the food to the customer. After I left the food at the customer's door, I went to the elevator and realized I needed to put a request on the keypad to call the elevator so I could get back on to the ride down. There was no response from the elevator. I waited for what seemed to be an hour. It wasn't an hour, but I felt stuck. I ended up walking from the 11th floor down to the first floor. A little exercise for the day. Elevators are very useful for getting to higher heights. There are different types of elevators. What we directly call an elevator. Then there's an escalator, a chairlift, aerial tramway. The late Morris Venden, former pastor, teacher, author, story parable teller, related a parable regarding the elevator. He told the parable to his son Lee Venden in response to Lee's description of going through discouragement in his relationship with Christ in regards to the battle to overcome sinning. Morris Venden described it like this: if we accept Jesus and the relationship with him, that puts us in the elevator. And as we're going up, we can fall down on the elevator, but we're still going up. And we're also covered by the righteousness of Christ in our growth process. And Jesus, who is on the elevator with us, wants to teach us how to depend upon him so he can help us not fall down. And whatever length of time it takes, as long as we continue seeking him, we are still on the elevator going up. We see an elevator in Genesis. The elevator, a ladder. Genesis 28:12, and he, Jacob, dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven, and behold, the angels of God ascending and descending on it. Jesus is the ladder, the elevator. And notice, with Jesus, the ladder, angels ascend and descend up and down it as we are in the relationship with Jesus. We are accompanied and ministered to, counseled, comforted by angels. What does the word say about falling down, sinning? Don't interfere with good people's lives. Don't try to get the best of them. No matter how many times you trip them up, God loyal people don't stay down long. Soon they're up on their feet, while the wicked end up flat on their faces. Proverbs 24:15 Message Bible. The King James Version translates it like this: the righteous fall down 7 times, but they get up. Who are the wicked? Romans 14:23 says this. Last sentence points out whatever is not from faith is sin. This can be said like this: whoever is not in a dependent, trusting relationship with Christ and his word, but depending on self, is in sin and wickedness. Being in the elevator with Jesus is described like this in John 15. Jesus emphatically expresses, live in me, make your home in me, just as I do in you. In the same way that a branch can't bear grapes by itself, but only by being joined to the vine, you can't bear fruit unless you are joined with me. I am the vine, you are the branches. When you're joined with me and I with you, the relation, intimate and organic, The harvest is sure to be abundant. Separated, you can't produce a thing. Anyone who separates from me is dead wood, gathered up and thrown in the bonfire. But if you make yourselves at home with me, and my words are at home in you, you can be sure that whatever you ask will be listened to and acted upon. This is how my Father shows who He is. When you produce grapes, when you mature as my disciples. John 15:4-8, Message Bible. Come on in the elevator with Christ. The journey is absolutely wonderful. I'm just sharing. IJS, sharing good news.